Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 188 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Get the sniz. Gotta get the sniz. Always on the lookout for the sniz. Can you help me find the sniz? Can I barter for your sniz? What do I have to give you in return for your sniz? How does the B-Man acquire a sniz? Hey, guess what word I found out about recently today? Earlier today, I was watching the internet, as I do, because I'm not antisocial, but the B-Man ain't social either. So I doom scroll through Twitter, X, Instagram, all that. Anyways, this guy, Andrew Wilson, who is like a red pill, manosphere, maybe a Christian. I don't really know him too well, but I know him enough to know all that. He was on that whatever podcast, which I don't watch, but the clips, they fall from the scroll. My scroll, I find whatever clips, they come a lot. He was, Andrew Wilson, he was debating some lesbian, they self-described lesbian, that's why I'm not calling her a lesbian. But he just got burnt. He got lit up. He got planted. Checkmate. He lost that debate, or at least the clip I saw. And so he got angry at the lesbian and chastised her by saying, "Oh, what do you know? All you do is eat sniz." And I was like, "What the hell is sniz?" Because for someone who doesn't know what sniz is, and if you're not aware, I had to look it up myself via Google because I am from the 20th century, so I don't use Chat GPT yet. I still use Google, so I feel like I'm living in the third world. But I Googled it, and apparently in 2007, the word sniz, S-N-I-Z-Z, sniz, I guess it was some movie, but somehow it became a vulgar term for the vagina. Made me giggle. I was like, oh, shit. That's a great word for the vagina. It's been out since 2007, and the B-Man's finding out about it in 2025. Where the fuck have I been the last 18 years? Maybe it's a product of me being somewhat antisocial. But anyways, love that term. Gonna be using it in this episode of Verbal Graffiti and going forward. And this week, when this comes out, it will be Thanksgiving. I guarantee you that I will use the word sniz during Thanksgiving dinner and see if anyone at the tables knows what it is. Because I walk amongst comedians who speak in vulgarity. That is the language we use. And I've never heard the term sniz before. And because when I first heard the term sniz today from Andrew Wilson, I don't know about you. When I heard the term sniz, immediately I thought, well, sniz, that sounds like it's a nicotine product that you shove in your mouth and that you have to dip out into a Coca-Cola bottle. No. Well, no. Maybe, are they similar, the vagina and a nicotine product? It depends how your sniz looks. I'm not going to get into that here, but yes, always I know the sniz. He's always on the B-Man's mind. I'm trying to acquire them. I'm not doing a good job at it now. But if you have a sniz, comment below because the B-Man would like to acquire yours, perhaps, if you're a busty Latina and or Asian and or white between the ages of 23 and 29. I've raised my standards from 27 to 29. Moving forward. Hey, B-Man. I'm a little giddy today. I have a pep in my step. It's not because of coffee. It's because I'm on PTO. Thankful to be employed. More so each day because I don't know. I go on the internet. I just told you. I go on the internet and there's two vacillating opinions. I was listening to one podcast. This dweeb and his guests were saying that we got 3 to 5 years before AI takes over humanity and we have no control over it and it's going to be chaos and we're probably all going to be dead. And then there's another side that says we're in an AI bubble. And all these tech companies, Fortune 500 companies are wasting their money. And it's going to burst and nothing's going to come of it. And we're just going to keep going on like we are right now. An example he gave was chess. You know, they have AI models where it's impossible for humans to beat the computer at chess today in 2025, but chess is more popular than ever with online play and all that. So even though the computer is unbeatable, it has not discouraged humans from playing chess. That was an interesting take from somebody who's prominently in the AI world or forecasting it. So I don't know. I live in the world of smut jokes, dick jokes, sniz, dreams of sniz in my belly, in my. All right. Let's not get. Sniz is vulgar enough. I'm not gonna, paint a picture with what I want to do once I acquire a nice. Moving forward. I'm not sure if it was last episode. Maybe it was a few episodes ago. I guess we're talking about serious topics now, because what's more serious than a sneeze? The economy, perhaps? The two kind of go hand in hand, or sneeze in hand, or... All right. Enough about the sneeze. We're moving on to the economy. Fugazi. Don't really know what the term fugazi means. That might be a slur for a fake. I don't know. I'm talking about a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm prefacing what I'm about to say is I don't know anything about the economy, AI. It's very confusing to me. Because a few episodes ago, we were discussing massage parlors, rubbing tugs, getting yourself a tuggy at the Asian massage parlors. And now, because I talked about that a few episodes here at Verbal Graffiti, anytime I'm noticing so many day spas, like massage parlor spas in the town, in nearby towns when I'm driving. Like when I drive in Connecticut, live in Wallingford, Connecticut. I'm not going to give you my address, but I was actually driving with my mother. We're going to Lowe's to get some Christmas decorations because we have enough, but you always need more Christmas decorations. And I'm just noticing we probably drove by a minimum of 4 massage spa parlors. And from our location to the Lowe's, Home Depot, which are right next to each other or across the street from each other, probably less than 5 miles. And we drove by 4 massage parlors, one of which was a Himalayan spa and massage in a seedy plaza, like the last store, and I'm looking like they gotta be giving tuggies at the Himalayan massage parlor place, because I looked at the sign, right? It was very nondescript. It was very Himalayan. It was very small location, and I don't know babes that well, but I know babes well enough to know that babes are not willingly, with their own volition, going to go into the massage parlor I saw. They're not going to go in there, de-dress, they get unrobe, get on a table, and have a stranger give them a deep tissue massage. They'll get a massage, but not at the location I saw or noticed. Never noticed it before. And then there's in Wallingford, Connecticut, North Haven, Cheshire, southeast. So was it northeast, southwest? Yeah, so like southeast, mid Connecticut, geographically, there were so many like small, like they look like mom and pop massage parlors. It never, like, I never put them all, this dirty mind of mine, never put it all together, but it is so clear that there is a underground black market sex work operation going on in Wallingford, Connecticut, and other towns throughout Connecticut. Because like I know I have some women in my life, sisters, my mom, aunts, friends, a few female acquaintances that I know doing stand-up, and the number of massage parlors I'm starting to notice near where I live, and compared to the number of massages the ladies in my life get per year, that equation doesn't work. Like the ladies I know might get 2 massages a year, if that. The town in which I live does not need a massage parlor like every mile and a half. That math does not jive. But the number of Johns in the town I live, I think the population is 60,000. So let's say there's 30,000 guys of age over 18. Let's put it at a little over 20,000 perhaps. They're the ones keeping these massage parlors afloat, keeping them in business. Although that's what I've just come to the realization of. Oh, the tuggy business in Connecticut, suburban Connecticut, it's thriving. I know I'm not going to make any comments whether that's right or wrong. I'm noticing it. And if you're listening to this, just start paying attention. When you're driving around town doing errands, whatever it is you're doing, how many small, seedy massage parlors, spas, day spas are in these plazas. You know, next to the taco place or the ice cream shop, there'll be a massage parlor. And then, honestly, I was thinking about this earlier yesterday, actually. I might do it. I probably won't, but I want to do a stakeout. Just at the Himalayan day spa that I just noticed as I drove by it with my mother, and I just want to just hang out in that parking lot, park my car, Camry, my father's car, and just an afternoon, and just take note of the clientele that's coming in and out of that Himalayan day spa, and then report back to you. I might do it. If I do, you know the B-Man is going to talk about here. Hey, B-Man. Oh, also, I went to a new bagel space. There's a new, Chapel Street Bagels in Wallingford, Connecticut. It's very small, similar to the day spas I've started to notice in my town. It's in a plaza, like in the corner. It's not easily accessible. It's a very small store, mom and pop store, or it's not chain. It's its own bagel place. I go in, 2 small tables, 2 guys working who they don't give a fuck about anything. The coffee is not whole. It just have a little coffee that you get at like a high school. I don't know, like a high school football game. Like, this was not fancy coffee. And the B-Man, I didn't even get the coffee because I knew if I paid $2.99 for that coffee, I'm going to be irritated. So I just got the bagel with cream cheese, way too much cream cheese. They only had about Chapel Street Bagel, that is, maybe 8 to 10 different types of bagels. And it was all nothing original. It was, everything, onion, plain, egg, a French toast bagel, which is a little unique. I've never seen that before. But the big takeaway was this bagel store, is a front for something else that is illegal. Because there's no way although small, this brick and mortar bagel store, there's no way they're making enough money to stay afloat selling bagels and coffee and breakfast sandwiches. I went there once. It was a nice bagel. I'll never go back. $10 for 2 bagels. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not paying $10 for 2 bagels. I did, but I won't do it a second time. So with the day spas, these weird bagel places that I'm going into, all the dive bars in downtown New Haven, which clearly are not making enough money selling booze and Coors Lights to pay for rent and the salaries of people who work there, there's definitely a big black market that I'm starting. I mean, maybe I should have known about this 2 decades ago when I was 21 and started going to bars. But at 41, it's starting to really become clear, and it hit me in the face. All right, like a double D jiggler, just slapped me in the face, and I'm becoming aware that the black market is thriving in Wallingford, Connecticut, and probably in whatever town or city in which you reside watching this right now. And thank you for your viewership. We do appreciate it here at Verbal Graffiti. And so what I was asking an episode or two ago about, like, I don't understand the economy. Like, I don't understand how everyone's affording 2 SUVs, a $450,000 like starter home, 3-bedroom, bath and a half, sending their kids to college. It's clear that some of this money, I don't know the percentage, is coming through illegal means. There's not taxes being paid on this money. That's the only way this economy is staying afloat. Now, I don't know what those illegal activities are other than the the Tuggies are paying for those ladies working there. But all the other businesses, is it drugs? Is it human trafficking? Is it, I don't know. Is it the mob? Is it gangs? I don't know. Trafficking weapons again. I'm not doing investigative work other than knowing the clientele going in and out of a day spa. Like, I'm not trying to get my legs broken. I'm talking out loud about how this economy, it has me flustered. I have no idea how everyone's living. And then I'm driving around. I'm going to more places since I have this week off from work. So I have a little bit more time on my hand. And I just what you see is not what you see. It is what you see, but there's something behind what you see that you can't see when you're there or when you drive by there. And that, I'm not going to do any investigative work. But if you're that type of person or you're in that type of industry or line of work, if that's your profession, you might want to start doing some investigative reporting on these small mom and pop shops and day spas in Wallingford, Connecticut, and other towns throughout the country. And again, I don't want any of these businesses to go under. Like, hey, if you're making a living illegally, good for you. Good for you. We're all about doing illegal activities here at Verbal Graffiti. I'm just calling what I see. And if you're doing something illegal, I'm going to say you're doing something illegal, but I'm not going to rat you out. I'm just pointing out what I see. I'm not going to rat you out to police, but I am going to come on the internet and say, hey, I'm seeing a lot of illegal activity. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something, and it's there. Because there's no way you're a bagel store selling 10 different types of bagels, and that's all you're selling, and you're able to make a living doing that? No. Your bagel store is a front for drugs, weapons, human trafficking. Like, there's something's going on. I'm looking. I'm noticing. And when I find something, I'll report it to all of you. 4, 5, 6 viewers of Verbal Graffiti. All right, moving along. All right, this comes from the subreddit Gifted. Accidentally assuming the majority are like us, ? I seem to accidentally assume people think the way we do, forgetting that the majority aren't like us. Then I remember again and adjust how I'm interacting after things backfire again. Do you get this? Accidentally explaining something in too much detail or mentioning something complex, forgetting it will confuse or scare them because they can't understand it, ? I made this mistake one too many times and dug myself into a hole. Then you now have a group of people mocking you because they think you're the ridiculous one. Lovely. This is why I rarely talk about myself or interests with most people, and I've learned to read people well, so I don't know who to talk about stuff to and who not to. Well, man, just become a stand-up comedian, because everything you said right there, I found myself nodding, going, absolutely. And now, similar to the illegal market, black market economy in Wallingford, Connecticut, Huh? See how I meld everything together? I was unaware that I'm gifted and talented because as I read your post, I'm like, absolutely. I dance with you with all this. My stand-up career is people, audience members, strangers looking at me befuddled, confused. WTF? What are you talking about? And it's kind of hit me right now. And again, I'm 12 years into comedy. Maybe this should have hit me 6 months into comedy. But there are so many times where I'll walk off stage and everyone will be horrified. Nobody will want to make eye contact with me because of the wildness, the accusations, the premises, the thought-provoking jokes I said on stage. I walk off stage and everybody's horrified, looking the other way, avoiding eye contact with me because they don't even know what to think of me. This is not a lie. This is actually very early on in stand-up comedy career for the B-Man. I was going to New York City a lot to do stand-up, and there was a good 6-month period where I was trying to get this joke over. And the premise was, I was talking about kidnappers and how you should blame the victim and not the kidnapper. Well, the kidnapper, the kidnapper should be prosecuted, go to jail, but the kidnappee, the babe who gets kidnapped and is locked in the basement or the garage or the shed out back for 20 years before the police or a neighbor finds them, like that lady, those ladies who get kidnapped for that long of a period of time have to take some, what's the word? They have to take some accountability for their own predicament. And the punchline was, well, hey, if you're locked up in a shed in a backyard for 20 years, like you need to work on your problem-solving skills. 20 years, you couldn't figure out how to distract your kidnapper after he opens the door and sneak out, or when he's inside, you can't figure out how to finagle a lock or open a window or a door or distract your kidnapper. 20 years, that's all you have is time to figure out a way. This isn't a maximum security federal 5 prison. This isn't Alcatraz. This is a guy's rink-a-dink shed in Michigan, in Connecticut, Massachusetts. It's not even soundproof. In 20 years, you're in there. You got to take some accountability for that. And again, I thought that was a great joke. And some people with our audience members with very, very dark senses of humor will laugh at that. It's one of those jokes. 10% of the room laughs hysterically. 90% jaws dropped. They can't even fathom somebody blaming the kidnappee. But again, I thought I wasn't funny telling a joke like that, when in reality, and thanks because of your post, I now realize that the B-Man, I'm just gifted and talented. I'm more intelligent than my audience that I'm performing in front of. I'm probably 50% more my IQ maybe is, 20, 30 points higher than the average NPC audience member that I perform in front of. So when I'm not getting laughs, maybe it's not that I'm not funny, it's that the audience is not intelligent enough to dance with the B-Man's humor. So thank you for that. But that is what you're talking about. I do that on a nightly basis. Like right now, I'm trying to get a joke together about, what was the one I was talking about? What was I talking about? There were 2 jokes I've been working on the last couple weeks. What was the one last night? What was the joke I was talking about? Oh, kidney. Last episode, I tried to turn that into a bit on stage about how I wouldn't give a kidney to my brother, or I want to negotiate if you want my kidney, I'll give it to you, but let's negotiate. It's gotten some laughs, but some audience members, they won't dance with me with that one. And I've also been talking about Ella Knox and how she hung up her stilettos and how I was talking about her body and how other porn stars, I talk a lot about smut too, right? So sometimes audience are like, nope, I am not going to chuckle with your filth. So like I was like, whatever. I remember another bit I had. I was listening to a podcast about the Israel conflict and how the Arabs and Israelis used to get along, but then they didn't. In World War I time, there was a battle, and how the Arabs won. But what they did afterwards is they took some of the Israeli babes and they cut off their genitals, like their boobs. And then I was doing a whole bit about how I used to think I was a boob guy, the B-man. Obviously, I'm a boob guy. But when you cut the boob from the body and you give me boobs on a plate, like that doesn't do anything for me. And I realized I'm not a boob guy. Like the boobs are nice, but what I'm attracted to is the person behind the boobs. I need both the person and the boobs. And again, I try talking this out on stage in an intellectual, in an intellectually stimulating, funny manner. Again, with someone as gifted and talented as me, I'm able to do that. But sometimes, most of the time actually, the audience is not able to follow my logic. And I always thought it was my fault. And now I realized, no. Those cheese doodles are brain dead. The B-man, I'm an intellectual, gifted, talented. Yeah, and I'm right there with you. And they go off stage, I don't talk to anybody because everyone's brain dead. And nobody's on my wavelength. Hardly anybody's intelligent, inquisitive enough to vibe with the B-man. I just keep my mouth shut. I let them ramble. I let them stumble over the words, make silliness out of themselves, whoever it may be, whomever they're talking about, whatever subject matter. And I just sit there quietly pretending to listen, but really in my head I'm thinking, this bitch, this John, when can I get out of here? And I nod politely and I say something, oh, really? How so? And I just let them keep talking. And I'm not going to engage more than that because, again, I'm gifted and talented. Most of these peons, these cheese doodles, these NPCs, these normies, they're not gifted and talented. So how can we interact with one another? I can't. So I stay silent. I keep these thoughts to myself. And then I let them out on stage and for the internet, for you watching Verbal Graffiti and or listening. All right, let's go watch a little video. You may notice, and it's impossible not to notice, if you're watching this episode, that I'm wearing a bandana around my neck. Is that because I'm trying to hide and disguise a hickey on the side of my neck? No, I am not trying to hide a hickey. It's just I decided to wear a bandana, have fun with my fashion because nobody's watching. Right? I think I had four viewers last episode, and thank you to you four. But we're just having fun. That's the only reason why I'm wearing it. It look a little different. But I'm looking at myself in the camera, just noticed it and put that together. Like, oh, someone might think I'm trying to hide something. I am not. It is how we view hickeys, though. Now, I'm trying to think this out loud in my head. So please tag along as I think this out loud. How we view hickeys does change. Our opinions of somebody with a hickey or a hickey on ourselves does change as we age. Because I do remember being in middle school and high school and being petrified of getting a hickey or giving somebody a hickey, which was not happening. I didn't kiss a babe till this summer after my senior year of high school. So there was no hickeys in my illustrious high school career. There were no hickeys given, and there were none taken. So I was hickey-less as a teenager. Make of that what you will. Probably something negative, but I was petrified, as I think probably most teenagers are. It's very embarrassing. You walk into school, and everyone in the hallway sees there's a big, like a big leech mark on the side of your neck, and who gave you the hickey? Who necked you last night? Who necked you this weekend? But I haven't thought about hickeys in probably a decade, but now every once in a while, and let's put the over under at like 2.5 hickeys per year. You probably come into contact with, or your eyes come in contact with during a year period. Every year, the over under is 2.5 hickeys you see or you witness. And I don't know about you, but when I see an adult, like somebody who's employed in corporate America with a hickey, it makes me smile, because that's a telltale sign to me that person with a hickey is getting after it. They're not just dating or having sex. Like, they're doing it, and they're going after it. Like, there is an age where you just kind of go through the motions, like panties off, undies off, a little bit of foreplay, a little bit of sniz play, and then you fuck. But if you're getting hickeys, it's like, wow, you still have passion in your life. So as an adult, and when I say adult, I say post 30 with a hickey. Like, don't be ashamed of that. That's how shall the B-man describe that? If you have a hickey past the age of 30, that is a sign to the world that you still possess passion. And very few people over the age of 30 have passion. It dwindles as you age. And most people become they're just feckless lives, frumpy old people. Everybody post age 30, just all they think about is their age and their new wrinkles and how there's nothing else to live for, and life is so boring because you've already done everything. No, you can still get a hickey. All right? And when you see somebody with a hickey, it's like, oh shit, that person probably got drunk and made out with a stranger last night or the last 2 nights. So good for you. You're going out. You're sucking face. Fuck, even if it's your wife or your husband or your partner. Like, is there anything hotter than a married couple that's been together 30 plus years and they show up to a party with hickeys on their neck? It's like, those two are still in love. All right? Those two don't have to convince you that they're still in love. The hickeys tell you those two still find each other attractive. So yeah, it is odd. It does change. As a teenager, you're like, I gotta, I'm sure there are plenty of girls in high school to try to put some makeup to disguise their hickey or wear some type of bandana or scarf. But as an adult, post 30, you're probably still embarrassed you have it. But and maybe some people in the office or wherever you're about will snicker at you. But really, afterwards, if they really give it any thought, and the B-man, I'm someone, when I see hickey, I will give it some thought. Maybe most people won't. But again, I'm gifted and talented. Afterwards, I'll snicker, but afterwards, I'm like, good for you. Good for you. You're out there. You're living. You have passion. I need some more weight. You got. Moving forward. All right, this comes from the subreddit, microdosing. Okay, my mic is on. Is there any inherent danger or negative to microdosing 300 mg, I think that's milligrams, spread throughout the day or every day? Personally, I started microdosing this summer with 100 mg Golden Teacher with 700 mg Lion's Mane first thing in the morning when I got up around 7 a.m. and then eventually started taking a second 100 mg on its own as a pick-me-up around noon. I'm a teacher, so when school started, the way my off periods and schedule worked out, I eventually worked up to, this is his schedule, 6 a.m., 100 mg GT, 700 mg Lion's Mane. At 11 a.m., 100 mg of GT, then 3:30 p.m., 100 mg of, again, GT. I felt like on my initial days off, I would have less of that it's a great day feeling on days off, so I just ended up dosing every day. Good logic, I like that. I've read some stuff about cardiovascular stress. Is there merit to this? I'm fairly active and work out 8 to 10 hours a week. Blood pressure and cardiovascular markers are all great. How much can be offset by just a good exercise regimen? Is there any other downfall to dosing every day and not following the protocol? I don't know if I'm going to be much use or can give you an answer to this post, which is okay because the poster is probably not listening or viewing this right now. But to all of you that dabble in microdosing or any type of drug use other than alcohol, I'm not a drug user. And that's evident by the fact that I count my drugs by the number of pills I'm swallowing. I'm not measuring it in mgs. If I take Advil, I take 1 Advil, I take 2 Advil. I was told never take more than 4 Advil. And that's a clear, when someone tells you that they don't have to tell you that they don't do drugs. It's like, oh, I take, how many Advil? 2. Like, I'm not measuring, like, I'm not mg milligrams, I think. Like, clearly, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I give advice about drugs because I don't take it hardly ever. So, I think you're Gucci, as they say. You're fine. It seems like you're able to get a little bit of giddy, a little upper, like a coffee. It's not as long as it's not affecting your teaching and or your relationships, keep microdosing every day. It seems like you have a very scheduled out use of your drugs 3 times a day, a little bit more in the morning, then a little bit throughout the day to keep that to avoid the lull. The crash, which is perfect. Keep drinking. You can't get hungover if you keep drinking. So it seems like you got it all together. Keep doing the golden lean or whatever the fuck it's called, whatever those strains are. And honestly, you're not that much different than what? 65% of all the other teachers at your school? Like, what's the percentage of teachers that are relying on substances to teach every day? 65%? Now, whatever that substance may be. It might be wine, alcohol, mushrooms, cocaine, SSRIs, antidepressants, Blue Chew, caffeine, Red Bull, whatever it is. There are very few teachers who are able to be a teacher without a little pick-me-up from a little substance, whether it's illegal or legal. And the big thing is, as long as nobody notices, or at least notices enough to make a stink about it or rat you out to the principal, like, you're fine. If you're taking you should not be using or trying to think about this in terms of like measurements of how much microdosing you're intaking. It should be if anybody's noticing. So if any of the students or the faculty or the principal, once anyone in the school notices that you're a little high or you're not completely sober, that's when you know you've taken too much, and you gotta backtrack. Do microdose even a little bit more. But if nobody's noticing or picking up on the fact that your head's a little loopy and you're a little bit happier than you should be during third period of pre-algebra or pre-calculus, like keep keep taking the doses you're taking. Now, personally, I think you're a big old sniz because I don't really like microdosing. Now, I'm not speaking from a medical point of view. I'm speaking from like a man-to-man, mano-y-mano, let's keep it a buck. Here at Verbal Graffiti, we don't like micro anything, microwaves, microplastic, micro penis, microdosing mushrooms. Micro anything really is not where you want to be at in life. And especially here at Verbal Graffiti, we like the extremes. So if you're going to do mushrooms, like do mushrooms. Like do 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of these mushrooms with your French toast in the morning. So when you're at school, all the students resemble Smurfs, and the janitor looks like he's a Pink Panther. Like you want to do enough drugs where you feel like you're in another galaxy, whatever that is, whatever that feeling is. That's the type of drug use I want you to partake in. Because being a doser, that's hipster. That's being a stinky sniz. Be a real man. Be a real drug user. Go big or go home. And that's my advice to you: is up your dosages. I don't know if that's going to keep you employed as a teacher, but do you really want to be a teacher? Do you really? How many years in a row are you going to teach the same pre-calculus formula to a 15-year-old? Like, doesn't that get boring after year 7? So up the dosages of the microdosing phase. I can't speak to it because I work in terms of pills. 1 pill of Advil, 1 Tylenol, 1 Motrin, or 2 or 3 of them. I'm not working in MG. Our science is different. Your math, my math, it's the same, but it's not the same. So, I mean, it seems like you're fine. It seems like it's doing these mushrooms or this microdosing of the mushrooms is making teaching more enjoyable for you. You're able to get 8 to 10 hours of exercise a week, which is more than most. So there's no downside to it. I'm a little disappointed in you. That's the only downside is to be, man, I'm disappointed in you. I want you to be doing at higher doses. I don't want you to microdose. I want you to overdose. Not to the point of death, but to the point of, you took a spaceship somewhere. Go suck a fat one.